Hi, my name is Kirsch, and I'm the director and producer of Behind Closed Doors. This show was created during a terrible period in Australia. In January 2022, five South Asian women and children were killed by either their partner, former partner, or father. During this period, we were starting to really think about, as someone who was working in the sector, how do we address this issue in a way that really drives a shift in the way the community responds to and talks about domestic and family violence, knowing that there are a lot of taboo or cultural barriers to being able to effectively engage in and therefore alleviate some of these issues in the community. So we came up with the idea of Behind Closed Doors, a production that talks about South Asian domestic violence in a way that is safe, accessible, and non judgmental and stimulates conversation. The show itself is a poetically written story about a woman reflecting on her experiences from childhood to adulthood of domestic violence. Intermittently, we interject moments of music and dance. This is for various reasons, depending on the piece. It's about honing in on a message and really pushing a particular moment. In other instances, it's about providing relief or moments of reflection for people to really sort of sit in the message and the themes that are running through the show. The real point of difference in this production is at the end when we actually start to hear the mother's perspective on why she chose to stay. A perspective that's often ignored or not really talked about or labeled as wrong, but a perspective that is very true and still very valid. And we wanted to bring that to the light to be able to actually engage in that conversation, and it works. Our show, from the successful runs we've had and the survey outcomes that I've detailed, the method really works. It works because we really did the work to try to ensure this show was accessible, safe, and authentic. The show was curated by our artists, but it was vetted through critical review by members of the community as well as experts in the field. We had people who work in women and children's shelters as caseworkers, as well as psychologists, look through the work and review it to ensure that it was a piece that really was strongly representing on all fronts. We had sold out show, oversold show actually, in Barangaroo, and we also performed in Bankstown and in Burwood. And I can tell you from being at the shows that there wasn't a dry eye. Unfortunately, there wasn't a dry eye in the audience. People came up to me after the show, and to my surprise, from many different backgrounds, from European backgrounds, Middle Eastern backgrounds, Southeast Asian backgrounds, and had shared with me things like, I didn't know this was everyone's family experiences. I thought only my dad did that particular thing. It's insane for me to reflect now on actually how many violent experiences I had had through my childhood. Um, it's unbelievable how many people the story resonated with. It's sad, but it wasn't surprising. The thing that I really am focused on is how we now get this in front of as many audiences as possible for them to critically reflect on and then enable them to be able to have these difficult conversations. As the statistics showed from the outputs of our show, 90% of attendants felt more confident in identifying signs of abuse after the show, 80% felt a greater understanding of where to seek help from, and 75% expressed an interest in further community discussions on the issue of domestic violence. So, why do we want to do Fringe? We are really hoping to be programmed because this is a very powerful show that has proven its ability to drive meaningful change. And we know Fringe as a brand is great to be associated with for artistic innovation as well as being at the forefront of challenging social issues. We're excited about the ability to reach a large and diverse audience through the Fringe Made in Sydney program, and we thank you deeply for considering our application and giving us a chance to apply. Thanks.